sound. I think we got sound now. Hi, everybody. I got no sound, and now I'm good. Okay.
Badger's in my chat. Badger, can you hear us? Like, we got sound on my chat, I think.
Sound on your end, no sound on mine, but I'm good now. I fixed it. It was it once again not registering my headset.
Okay, yeah. Badger could hear us both.
Cool, good. Hey, Badger. There's a Kirby bird.
So this dog did not realize that the plush wolf was not real. So he was looking up and being like, why is that dog not coming down to play with me? Why is it sitting on that shelf?
I would like that dog to be here now and not up there.
I would like that dog to be here and to be playing with me. My feelings are hurt that this dog doesn't want to be my friend.
Aw.
Very cute.
This Kirby wolf is very funny, and I am very amused. I'm also going to give you a necktie because that's your deal. Just in the middle of your body. There's no sense to it.
Yeah, it's like cartoon animal rules. Like, it could just go anywhere.
Yeah. There we go. You're a little tiny wolf. I gotta give you little cheek puffs though. Good. That's how it's not a cat. All right. I've done our obligatory portraits for the night. Like to do them. Like it so that we know who we are. That's me. That's you. Happy St. Patty's Day. Anyone who's interested in that?
Oh yeah, I guess as someone of Irish descent, I should care about that.
Meh, it's kind of a BS holiday, especially if you're Irish. It's like that's not a thing they celebrate in Ireland.
Well, I have heard that it's actually like solemn in Ireland, and like
it's an actual saint's day,
like, religious holiday. Yeah, like
instead of like let's just get very drunk for no reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I work on this one? It is mostly coloring, and I gotta redraw this guy's face. That's good.
A couple of days ago, since it was the Ides of March, I saw a lot of people sharing what is one of my favorite screenshots of a Tumblr conversation.
Oh, good.
Which is, it's bullshit that October isn't the 8th month, and November isn't the 9th month, and December isn't the 10th month. Whoever fucked this up should get stabbed. And the
it's
one
like,
person
good
replies,
news.
well, I have good news for you.
Guess what? Precisely that, in fact, did happen.
Yeah.
There's a whole day about it and everything. Did you see that Van Calf is back on?
I did not see that. I haven't really been paying attention to the internet.
I should, did you get the email about it? If you haven't, I can forward it to you.
I did not get the email. It's probably because I didn't, like, get a table forwarded over and over.
Okay, that would probably do it. Yeah, whereas I just kept porting mine forward and forward and forward, because I was like,
no, I
cons will happen eventually.
I asked for a refund because I was like, listen, I need dollars.
Yeah, it's been a long time to be sitting on that money.
Speaking of needing dollars, if anyone's listening to this stream, there's a sale on my store right now. 20% off if you use the coupon code taxes, because I got a much bigger tax bill than I was expecting.
Which is never fun, especially as a small creator.
Yeah, so please go buy my shit. I have many a werewolf book for everyone.
A fine werewolf book.
I have a werewolf book that Alina is in.
Hell yeah. We got some werewolves. We will let you pet them, maybe, if you ask nicely.
Yes, because we're pro consent on this
Yeah.
stream.
And also the book is called Can I Pet Your Werewolf? So, like, do
Yes.
ask first. Ask before you pet a werewolf.
That was the thing when I was doing interviews when it was first kickstarting. I went on a podcast and one of the joke questions was like, "Why are you going around petting werewolves?" And it's like, listen, it says it's a question. It's asking for consent.
Yep, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's very important to do. Especially when the werewolf, if they were not in a wolf form, you could ask them yourself, but they are wolfed out, so they may need someone else to translate.
Yeah. Question: what are your thoughts on werewolves being able to talk to dogs?
I mean, I kind of like it, even if it's not like super thematically appropriate. I just love that like dogs and wolves have very similar body language, so it does make sense that a werewolf would be able to talk to a dog. Because like dogs and wolves can talk, sort of, or communicate.
Yeah.
With one another. Hey, we got a gopher, and we got a hurt bag in the chat. Hey, everybody.
Hi, chat people. So we got a gopher and we got a badger.
Hey.
So we're collecting all the animals
Yep.
tonight.
Yep.
I discovered an excellent manga sound effect.
Ooh.
Today, which is kitty punch.
Oh, good. Like KITTY?
Yeah, kitty is
good.
Kitty punch. That is the sound effect when your cat hits your face to wake you up in the morning.
Oh, good.
Thought I'd share that beautiful sound effect.
Kitty punch. I wonder what the sound effect was in the original Japanese.
No, that's like what they literally wrote, apparently,
really?
According to the translator, kitty punch.
Oh, that's very good.
Yes. So it's the thing in like manga is they have like sound effects and then they have like asides, which are like things that maybe the character says quieter or is maybe thinking. They're not. It doesn't necessarily get addressed by the dialogue. So sometimes it's hard to tell if a thing is meant to be a sound effect or an aside. So it's either a sound effect or it is this cat character literally said kitty punch while batting
punching somebody
face to wake them up.
Good.
Yeah.
Either way,
so it's one of those two.
Excellent use of onomatopoeia. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
A really good onomatopoeia is just like a thing of beauty. Slinky Malinky is a kids book series. That name is just fun to say. Whoever named that, good job. Yeah. They're firing on all the cylinders for a kids book.
Good alliteration or rhymey, good rhythm to it.
Secondly, last time I was over at my sister's house, I picked up and read Brown Bear, Where Are You? Or whatever it's called, to my niece. And I have not read that book in since she was a child, because she's the youngest of the siblings and the one that I would read books to. And boy, that book holds up. It's still good. Still good for kids. Kids love it.
I don't believe I've read that one.
Yep, it's very repetitive, but kids really like it, and the illustrations are cute. Oh no, the dog in the series of Slinky Malinky is called Harry McClary. Oh, that's good too.
Did you read Bunnicula as a kid?
I did. I drew Bunnicula fan art.
It's a good.
I love the idea of a Dracula Bunny was very good and compelling. Oh no, Zach
Um,
McQuack is the duck. Or just Zachary Quack. I'm
what?
sad that it's not Zach McQuack.
Um,
There's a brown bear what do you see book called Scientist what do you see, which I do need for my niece because several of her family members are scientists. So I need to go and
that
buy
is also
that
good.
for her next birthday, which is coming up actually. Thank you for reminding me.
Um,
She is a June baby, but it is never too early to start shopping for a kid because their birthdays come up
uh,
faster than you think. Yeah, that's a better head shape for this guy. Also, I freehand drew that gun and I'm still proud of myself. I don't draw a
hooray!
lot of guns, but yeah. This is a commission
That
that I
is
took at the very
fun.
end of the
What's the
furry
name?
show, and I was like, well, I can't draw this entire commission in under 2 hours, so I will work on it and get back to you. And he's like, that's fine. I was like, that also means that I can do digital color instead of Copic color, so you'll get a lot more vibrant colors out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing tonight. Oh no, there's a
Um,
book called General Relativity for Babies and Statistical Physics for Babies, which is really good. I know it's for actual babies, but it also makes it sound like it's just like really snide at undergrads. Look,
like for dummy, like those
yeah,
like such and such for dummies books.
yes,
Um,
you're gonna
I
need to
also
get. Hmm,
it makes me think of uh there I was talking to some other people about like books we liked as a kid,
mm-hmm.
because I never enjoyed Harry Potter. It was never my
No,
thing.
yeah,
Um and the instead, so like people were talking about stuff that they got into like instead of Harry Potter.
interesting.
And I was like, so as a kid I really liked this book series called Cat Wings,
Oh, I
which
fucking
was
love
about
Catwings.
cats
That's an Ursula Le Guin
that
series.
yeah, no, so that's the thing is like I read that, I loved it as a kid, and
Yeah.
so fast forward to me at a comic convention and everyone is talking about how great Left Hand of Darkness is, and I'm like, why does that author's name sound familiar?
Yup.
And
It's
then of course I look her
Catwings.
up and it's, oh, she also wrote Cat Wings.
Yes. Ah, so good. I see that was one of those series that I read when I was very, very young and I found at the library, so I didn't have a copy of it. But it stuck in my memory so vividly that I was just like, I remember reading a book series that had really cute anime or like little characters in it that were cats, just like regular kittens with wings, and I remember nothing else about it, and nobody else had ever heard of this apparently. So I just like eventually you get to the point where you're like, did I hallucinate this? Did I make this up?
No,
Until you finally find
There's
it.
Cat Wings Returns, there's
Yeah.
Jane on her own, and then
Yes.
Cat Great Alexander and the Cat Wings.
Ah, and all of them are good, and
But
all of them have the cutest illustrations.
yeah, but so like a thing that as an adult, because I found new copies to like flip through,
Good.
and a thing that I think is like very evocative at the beginning is the logic for why they have wings is that their mom dreamed of flying away,
Aw.
and so all her kittens have wings now.
Oh, good. I remember her being really concerned about them, and she had to like hide them in the barn because the humans would be
No,
upset
it's
if the
she
babies
hid
had
them
wings.
while they were in the city and then told them they cannot live in the city because like too many people will notice they have wings.
Right.
So then they flew to the forest. One of them got in a bad fight with an owl.
Oh, yes, I
Um,
remember that.
so then they decided to live in a barn.
Yeah. Oh, the Earthsea
So
Quartet was so
mom
good too.
mom didn't send them to a barn. They found the barn on their own.
Right, right. As part of their like early adventures. And then they
Yeah.
could live in the barn and it was safe. And there was a kid, I think, who knew about them.
Like there were kids that like found out about them and like fed them the way like
You would just leave
a
a like
kid might feed a
saucer.
stray cat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I
Those were good.
think Alexander, the regular cat that befriended them, was belonged to the two kids.
Gotcha.
But then Catwings Returns is they're like, hey, I feel really shitty about abandoning mom to live in the city on her own.
Yeah, we should go see Mom.
Um, so they fly back to see their mom, and they can't find her in the streets. And it
Mm.
turns out she did find a home. A nice lady adopted her.
Oh, good.
And she's like, oh, but I had more kittens, so you should go find my other kitten with wings.
I keep having kittens with wings. It's a thing. It's got to be
Yeah.
like a dominant trait. I guess not dominant, and it's not sex linked
Well,
either, but it is.
it's about her dreaming.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of implied that now that she has a safe home, she isn't dreaming of flying away. So she
Right.
like that second batch of kids with wings. That's the end of it.
Yeah. There'll be no more. She's safe now.
Mhm.
Oh man. See, I think I was really into those, and I was not into Harry Potter because I was almost too old for Harry Potter when it came out. And when I read it, I was like, these suck, because I had read quite a lot of YA. Um, so here's how my reading adventures went when I was a kid. Uh, I very early on, like in grade 1 or 2, my teachers were like, "You read very well. You should not be reading at your level. Here are some like much higher grade books." And so I tore through like Ramona and Vanicula and all the Beverly Clearly, and eventually worked my way to Swiftly Tilting Planet and the other Madeline L'Engle books, and then was like obsessed with those for a long time. To the point where I started drawing
Um,
cherubs from it, like the as they're described biblically, with the like ever unfolding eyes
the
and
bazillion
wings.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, and my grandma was like, "Oh no, you're seeing angels. We need to get you exorcised or something." And I was like, "What? This isn't an angel. This is from my sci-fi book."
Um, I am the opposite of you in that like I did not read a lot as a kid.
Mm,
I am still a very slow reader because I am dyslexic.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Harry Potter was given to me because that's the book that gets kids into reading.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bounced off it hard. Harry did not even get to Hogwarts. Like I quit
No, because
before
he's
that.
boring and bad.
Well, it's also like I've been thinking a lot about the way books start. Harry
Mm.
Potter does not start with Harry. Harry starts with you're in the mind of his judgy shitty uncle, like,
Yes. Yeah. Which is a weird
and
place to start
that
off
that
as a
is,
kid.
yeah. And
It really starts from an adult
yeah.
point of view, which is not what you want to do with a middle grades book. You want to start with the kids, so the kids
Yeah.
get interested in people like them.
And so yeah, I just like bounced off it hard, but it's
Mm.
also like there are many books where I bounced off them hard because they didn't get to the plot quick enough.
Gotcha.
I really liked the Hobbit animated movie as a kid,
Yeah, yeah.
so my aunt lent me her copy of The Hobbit.
And that does not get to the
And
point fast.
I gave up because they were still having breakfast,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm done.
See, whereas I got
They're
into
thinking
the
about
like,
doing dishes.
yeah, the one that really got me when I was young, there was a series called "So You Think You're a Wizard," uh,
Hmm.
and it was a Diane Duane book series, and it's these two young kids who have like crazy wizard powers, like not even like they would leave Harry Potter in the dust because they're not like wizards I cast spell wizards. They're wizards like I do quantum physics that is magic to keep the universe running level magic. And like if we don't do our
Hmm.
jobs, the universe's mechanisms will break down and all life as we know it will cease. So like that level of power for wizards, and then I went to read Harry Potter and I was like, oh, they can like fucking levitate a teapot or something. Lame.
Well, so this is the thing
That's
is
not
like as
wizards.
so this is another thing like cuz my pal Kevin, who I believe is making your website,
Yes.
um it's we go running every Friday, and he has been reading Harry Potter and listening to a podcast that is from like former Harry Potter fans.
Ooh.
And they're like
As they like
critiquing.
de Harry Potterify
Well,
themselves.
well, it's more like they read it as a kid, they have fond memories, and now they're
Yeah.
going back to it.
And they're like, woof,
They decided
woof,
they
this is a
decided
problem.
to go back to it before all the turf stuff came out
Yeah.
about J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like even with before like they were looking for like her shitty attitudes about things,
Mm-hmm.
they noted that like she is a really judgy person.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Like um and so yeah, so but it's also like according to Kevin, uh it's odd that Harry Potter takes place in a magic school because it seems like J.K. Rowling is thoroughly disinterested in
The
magic.
school. Yeah, actually.
Like how it works in general, because
Yeah,
like
it's all very
you
loosey-goosey and
like
like don't think about it too hard.
well, it's not even like loosey goosey where you can get vague ideas.
Mm.
But it's more like it just works because that's what she needs it to do at that moment. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
um so because I like a loosey goosey magic system.
Mm-hmm.
um if it's loosey goosey and like
As discussed last week,
we'll
Brandon
do
Sanderson's over-the-top world building is boring.
yeah
And
yeah
in-your-face magic
his over
systems.
explanation. Yeah, so like um them like uh something like Avatar The Last Airbender is like bending, it has some rules, but part of
Yeah.
that is like connected to your emotions,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
also like
That was a good middle
vaguely
ground.
how well you're spiritually connected to the element that you're bending.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, and what your element
so it's
does,
sort of
like earthbenders are completely different than firebenders.
yeah. So I like that. I really liked have you read Jonathan Strange and Dr.
Oh,
Norval?
yes. Yes, I have, and I love it.
I wasn't particularly a fan of how it's written, but I
Mm.
feel like the conflict in that book is soft magic versus hard magic,
Yep.
because like Norval is like he is a Brandon Sanderson wizard.
Yes. Yes.
Um and I really liked that Jonathan Strange is like working on metaphors and wordplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like
He's a little bit more like
and I
fairy
think
chaotic, which is lovely.
but like even with that very chaotic stuff, like when he says stuff, like you can see the connections in his mind.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's like the part where the ship is stuck, and it's like called horse sand, and that means that he makes horses out of it. Like so
Yes.
he's using what like someone already calls it to like make a play on words, and that's
Mm-hmm.
powering his magic.
Which is great.
um and yeah, so I like so you can kind of see like the logic lines even though it's a soft magic system.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name of it. There was another series I read that was and like keep in mind this is in like the late 90s or early 2000s, that was based off of Chinese mythology. So one of the characters in there was the Monkey King, and one of the
mm,
girls was friends with like the Princess of the Dragons, and the Princess of the Dragons was a girl most of the time, but like could turn into an actual like big
yeah.
Chinese dragon. And the adventure took them to the bottom of the sea because that's where the dragons live in their sea kingdom. And there was like all these like lavish descriptions of how the sea dragons lived and what they ate. And it was just so descriptively beautiful that my friend and I like would make we were doing basically like free form role play in that world where we made up our own characters that lived at the bottom of the ocean. And I still have
Mhm.
quite a lot of love for that series. Even if I can't remember its
um
name, I just remember the setting details.
So as a kid, things I successfully read are the beginning of the Animorphs books.
Oh, I love the Animorphs books. Hell
Um,
yes, I could talk about Animorphs for hours. Corey and
I
have indeed.
realized I realized, like, I listened to Carrie Peach's podcast
Yep.
where she read all the Animorph books
Hell yeah.
and realized that I gave up before shit got real
Oh
cool.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Because they kind of fuck around on Monster of
Um
the Week it for a while, and then it gets real. Once the Hork-Bajir start coming in, it
um
gets really real.
yeah, when I was a kid I never got that far.
Whew.
So I think I read like 5 Animorph books
Right.
before
So
I
just to the
quit
point where like
because
Toby is now a hawk forever.
a hawk. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like they just got their alien buddy
Oh
or
yeah.
something like that. Um
He's great,
and
and he gets better the longer the series goes on.
yeah, and I liked that I also as a kid I read several Goosebumps.
Yep. I
Those
read so many Goosebumps.
that um obviously I read Bunnicula.
Mm-hmm.
Um then the author of Bunnicula is gay, so it's very clear that the cat and the dog are a gay couple, like in hindsight.
Yeah, yeah, I
Uh,
can see that. I did not pick up on that then, but
cause, cause they adopt a puppy,
they
so it's
do.
gay dads.
Yep, gay
Um,
animal dads.
yeah. And yeah, I mostly just watched way too much TV as a kid.
Mm.
I
Whereas I
have
wasn't
told
allowed to watch
people
TV
like
much. I
yeah,
wasn't allowed
so
sugar and I
I have
wasn't allowed
told
a lot of
people
TV, so like that's my upbringing.
yeah, I've told people that like if there was a dumb show that got canceled after one season, I have probably seen it.
Gotcha.
Because I just watched that much TV. Like I
Mm.
remember telling someone about that 80s show and they were like, "Do you mean that 70s show?"
You're
And
like,
I was like,
nope,
"No, no, no. That
nope,
80s show is the spin-off of
yup.
that 70s show, which was very, very bad and got canceled." And
But you have seen
stars the
it.
guy who plays Dennis in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, good.
And apparently, that 80s show is responsible for Always Sunny in Philadelphia because
Oh my god.
in a recent podcast about like Always Sunny, the guy who plays Dennis is like, yeah, my paycheck from that 80s show let me purchase the camera that we filmed the pilot with of Always Sunny. Um,
Good, good.
so uh yeah, and I just
Oh
remember
man.
like when like and here's the thing about bad TV is sometimes they stumble on interesting ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Um like there was a bad sitcom called For Your Love, which the premise is that it's 3 couples in different stages of their relationship.
Oh, interesting.
Like there's there's a couple that's dating, and the guy of the dating couple, his brother is recently married, so you have the newlyweds, and then the newlyweds their neighbors are like the long-term married couple.
Mm.
And basically, clearly after like 3 or 4 episodes, they realize that the way couple married couples are written on sitcoms is really unhealthy.
Yup.
So frequently the plot is newly married couple is having a problem. They ask older married couple for advice. Older married couple gives them horrible advice.
Yup.
Makes everything worse because older married couple is stereotypical sitcom married couple.
Mhm. Who hate each
Uh,
other, and you're like,
and
why are you
and
together?
and
Oh wait,
as it
cause the
turns out,
church.
yeah. Uh, well, here's the fun twist: is like they're like, well, eventually, like they can only be newlyweds for so long,
Mm-hmm.
um,
And they will turn
and
into one
then
of
they
these other
realized,
groups.
well, so then, um, the um, newlyweds became the married couple. The married couple realized that their marriage is completely dysfunctional and they should get divorced. Um,
So now they're the
which
divorced
they
folks.
did. Yeah, so now they're a divorced couple.
Interesting.
Um, and that's how they shook it up. And then I believe it got canceled shortly after. But
Mm.
it was like, I'm glad they realized, like,
Yeah.
on hindsight, they were on something interesting of like
Yeah.
textually acknowledging that the stereotypical sitcom married couple is horrible and dysfunctional.
Yes. It was so funny because like I mean it's not funny, but like when you grow up in the like 80s and 90s, what you see on
Mhm.
TV is just mirrored this like completely dysfunctional like almost abusive relationships over and over again on television couples.
Mhm.
And then only in the late 90s, early 2000s did you actually start to see some like maybe we should have some nuanced relationships that aren't just like, oh, gotta go home
Yeah.
to the old wrecking ball. Sure hate her face. Oh man, they're always being awful.
Yeah. But yeah, I've seen a lot of bad TV, enough
To
to realize when they're doing something slightly different that had the potential to be
be
good and
interesting.
interesting.
I have read a lot of bad
Um,
books. Uh, so like I worked my way through the fantasy area at my local library. And I like literally read all of the books that I was interested in reading.
mhm.
And then I was like, well, I've read all the fantasy and they're not getting enough fast enough. So I'm going to start on sci fi. And I started on sci fi and I kind of loved some of it and then absolutely hated the rest because like people were all like, oh, you got to read this. You got to read Asimov and you got to read Clark. And I was like, they are super misogynistic. Their female
I
characters
didn't
are all just there to be rescued by the dude.
I didn't mind Asimov,
Mm,
because his stories were so short that like the fact that the people weren't people
that's true.
didn't
Yeah.
bother me.
Yeah.
Because
He was all about the
I was telling
concepts.
Yeah, I was telling my buddy Joe that like Asimov short stories are basically like a math problem in short story form, a logic
You're not
puzzle,
wrong.
and they're just short enough that that's interesting, and it doesn't wear out its welcome, and it's
Mm,
like by the time like you would want there to be more, it's like and
it's
we're
over
done.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's over.
and I think like the fantasy authors that are weaker at writing characters,
Hmm.
frequently if they also write short stories, I end up liking their short stories a lot better.
Yeah. No,
Like
fair. Me as
Ne-
well.
I I like Neil Gaiman's short stories a lot more than his
Yes.
longer work.
Yeah.
There was one where like the Neil Gaiman short that I think is called like The Wedding Present,
Mm. Yep. With the book.
which I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like, that's fucking
That
heartbreaking.
is
Um,
and also very poignant.
yeah, but it's like if this were longer, like I wouldn't like it. Like it's exactly as long as it needs to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. It's a well crafted, perfect length.
And
I think I like that better than the brown.
I liked Philip K. Dick's short stories more than his long stuff.
Mm.
Because I feel like his long stuff kind of peters out.
Hmm.
Um, because like the end of Man in the High Castle is kind of just
Yeah.
it just ends.
It just ends.
Like
It's just over now.
yeah, we're done.
Yep.
And I think Blade Runner is better than the book Dreaming of Electric Sheep.
Hmm.
Um,
If only because you get those
uh,
glorious visuals.
but also because they cut out a lot of the dumb shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
The just cyberpunk for cyberpunk's sake shit.
because there's that whole thing with the guy who repairs the animals who accidentally quote unquote repairs a real cat,
Yep.
and kills it in the process.
Yep.
Um, and it's like okay, yeah, I've at this point I already got how realistic and lifelike androids can be, so like
I got it. I'm there with you.
yeah,
We
I
understand.
didn't need
To
cat
die. Yeah,
mutilation
please
to
don't kill
hit
this
that
cat.
point home.
Does the cat live? No? Cool. Cool. Don't need to read that chapter.
Um,
Yeah, I think I'm working a better angle here with the blue than with the gray. Let's make that
um,
like that color. That's better.
uh, but when I went and read all the classic sci-fi, I realized I do actually rather like H.G. Wells's sci-fi,
Mm-hmm.
because he usually puts it in some sort of human perspective.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Um, the my biggest complaint about every adaptation of The Invisible Man is they do not keep um, the books is told to you via town gossip.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I wish like an adaptation of The Invisible Man would lean into that rather than like, oh, isn't it creepy that he could spy on you? It's
Yeah.
like, no, I want like the town gossip angle that made it really
It was
entertaining.
so juicy and so good.
Because I feel like every Invisible Man thing since then has been like, yes, he's the Invisible Man, but he's also a serial killer.
Yeah.
Um,
Just to make it ooh spooky. And you're like, okay, sure, that's a thing. It's either that or they've made him
um,
very innocuous. Like, there's certainly a lot of team ups where they throw the Invisible Man in there just as like, and here's another movie monster that you may have heard
yeah,
of. And then he's just sort of like, I am also here, but I'm invisible, so you can't see me. You're like, okay, good job, Invisible
yeah.
Man. Good job being invisible.
And then the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen
Yeah,
has him horrifically murdered.
yeah. They just announced more Umbrella Academy coming soon.
That'll be interesting because
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know where they can go with it now.
They're doing the Sparrow Academy plotline, so they're gonna do like, there's a you're in a different dimension, but there's these guys. Who are you guys in this dimension? Now fight, I guess.
Because that's how superheroes roll.
Correct. Correct. I'm looking forward to it because I do want to see. Come on, brain. Cool actor who transitioned, who is now going to be playing the same character, who is female.
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page. There we go. I want to
Um,
see him reprise his role. It's gonna be. He was always one of my favorite characters on that show. So.
I really liked the guy who played Klaus.
Oh
He was
God,
really
yes. Oh my
good
God,
as.
yes. He's the best.
I loved that his '60s guru persona is just saying
Yes.
like Backstreet Boy lyrics.
Yes, but they're profound.
Yeah.
I love him as a character and as a concept. He's just very good.
Um,
He's also very queer, and I enjoy that.
yeah.
To the point that they just straight out
Non.
included him in the girls' night with his sisters.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I feel like I just don't want Vanya to be the villain once again.
No.
I
No,
feel
we've
like
already had
every
that plot.
season has. Yeah, well, we've had it twice.
Yeah.
So uh
We could do without Vanya being the bad guy. They've sorted that all out.
Oh, the kid who plays number 4 is excellent.
Oh, he's very good.
He's very good at being a crotchety old man in a
Yes.
tiny boy's body.
I love when he does this face that he's just like, I am in a room of children.
Yeah.
I'm like, a kid that age should not be able to pull off a face like that, but he is fucking killing it. And I love how dumb they all are. Even him sometimes.
Yes.
I liked when he was going like time psycho in the last in the last season. That was very fun. Time psychosis.
On HBO, there's now an excellent new show from the man who said all vampires are bisexual and idiots.
Excellent. Good.
And
Good.
then said
Approve.
all superheroes are bisexual
Bisexual
idiots.
idiots. Mm-hmm.
Now from Taika Waititi, you get all pirates are bisexual idiots.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I like that.
He has a new show on HBO called Our Flag Means Death.
Oh, good. And it's bisexual idiot pirates?
Yeah, there's a lot of sexual tension going on there.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I love this dearly.
Leslie Jones had a cameo in one of the recent episodes where she was a pirate queen that had 20 husbands.
Good.
So
good.
That was great. One member of the crew is a lady disguised as a man because she killed one of said 20 husbands. So she's on the run
just
from
took
Leslie
his
Jones.
Spot? Oh no, she's on the run. Good.
No, she like, yeah, Leslie Jones doesn't. She has 20, but she still is like, hey, you don't mess with my plethora of men.
Yeah.
They're mine.
Oh, Gopher says
No
it's
one
based on a
kills them
historical
but me.
pirate.
Yeah, no. So the Rhys Darby plays the main character who is based on a historical pirate. Who is a nobleman that gave up his noble status to
pirate.
go for a life of piracy.
Good.
And his boat was he was the only pirate that paid his crew wages.
Right.
Because he just had the money to do so. And
it's like, I should pay you. Maybe you'll be loyal to me. And they're like, fuck yes.
Not necessarily. Because there are a couple. So his boat very quickly gets taken over by Blackbeard.
Gotcha.
Who is played by Taika Waititi in the show.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, Steve Bonnet. Yes. Good.
Yeah. So yeah, Rhys Darby is playing Steve Bonnet.
Oh, very good.
Taika Waititi is playing
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard.
Oh God. Okay. I love What We Do in the Shadows so much. It is what every vampire lark becomes. Just a bunch of idiot vampires doing really dumb things. And that is my favorite.
What I need Taika Waititi to do, as much as I love him, I need him to make Werewolves.
Yes.
Which was the sequel to his What We Do in Shadows that he talked about and yet has yet to make. Which is about the Rhys Darby and all his werewolves.
Good.
They need to get on that.
Yep.
So I can have my goofy werewolves.
Yup. Oh, good werewolves.
I also like that What We Do in Shadows, the movie, is a secret love letter to Taika Waititi's friend Stu.
Is it?
So the guy Stu is just a buddy of Taika Waititi that him and Jermaine Clement tricked into being in the movie more and more.
Good.
Like they're like, we just need you to react to the scene that's going on. And they just did that over and over again. and eventually he realized he's a main character. So the part where they ask him what he does for a living,
Mm-hmm.
that's what he really does for a living.
Oh, very good.
Um,
Very
and
good.
so the part where they're just talking about how great Stu is, that is like them
That's just
legit
real.
complimenting their friend. Uh,
Oh, I love it. Oh,
uh,
man.
so,
Hey, Stu, we just think you're neat.
uh,
Please be in our film.
yeah, and become a werewolf.
Yes.
Stu, 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 Stu.
Oh, I love it. I love Taika Waititi more than I
He's
can
great.
accurately uh, say to anyone. I was raving the other day about how wonderful Reservation Dogs is. I love that film on many different, or series on many different levels, artistically, writing wise, but just like culturally, it's just a tour de
Hmm.
force. Like it's really really good, and they're not like, oh, we're gonna try and make this palatable for white audiences. They're like, fucking keep up. We're not gonna explain any of this to you. You can figure it out or Google it, whatever. Just stellar, stellar, stellar
Um,
series entirely. But Willie Jack was originally written as a male character. And when I am blanking on her name as well now, but the actress who plays Willie Jack came and auditioned for the role of Alora because there was only supposed to be one girl originally in the
hmm.
crew of four. They were like, "We love you, but you're wrong for Alora, but we need you to be in a role. So like, can you read for Willie Jack?" And then she like rezzed up her voice a little bit more for it and like blew them all out of the park. And they were like, "Yes, correct. This is
Good,
the choice we should have made all along. What were we doing?"
good. Um, have you seen Hunt for the Wilder People?
No, I've heard that's very good though.
It's very good. It is the best blind purchase I ever made of a movie.
Oh, good.
Because basically, some friends and I we were watching a bunch of movies for New Year's Eve, like the year that it came out. Um, and uh, basically, like we were trying to see if Hunt for the Wilder People was on any streaming stuff.
Right.
Um, and it wasn't. But I could purchase it on iTunes for like $15
Nice.
or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I trust Taika Waititi enough
I'm just
to,
gonna buy
knowing
that.
absolutely nothing about this movie, that I'll just buy it. Um, and I was not disappointed. It's very good. Um, uh, the main kid in it is really good. He's a Maori kid that is running away because he doesn't want to go to juvie.
Mm,
Um, and he is aided by Sam Neill, who is an ex-con, which is why he
good.
relates to the kid not wanting to go to juvie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the kid has a dog named Tupac.
Oh, very good.
Um, and and Sam Neill has a dog named Zag, and they
Zag.
just go through the woods together. Yeah,
I love it. I'm very into this whole concept.
yeah. Uh,
Hey, Sam Neill.
and
Real good.
they're on the run from social services,
Good.
who is played by Rachel House, who
Oh,
is
really?
yeah, she is the guard for Jeff Goldblum in the Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, good.
Sh yeah, so she's just great. Um, Badger's asking me if I've seen the newest episode. I've not seen the newest episode, Badger. I heard the newest episode of Our Flag Means Death is very gay.
Oh, lovely.
Um,
Good. Good. Good.
and look, that is basically what I was gonna do right after the stream is go
Good.
watch that. But yeah,
I. What have I been watching lately? Not a lot. I watched BattleBots. BattleBots this season is real fire. Very good. Possibly my favorite show in existence.
I don't know anything about BattleBots.
There are robots. They are real and they fight each other in an arena in Las Vegas.
Okay.
It's very good. Things go smash. One of the robots got split into like 4 pieces. It was very exciting. I cheered very loudly.
I feel like I would feel bad for the robots.
No. No, because they're not like robots with faces. They're just regular robots. They're like, and the teams who build them are like really excited by the battles too, because they're like, oh my god, that was so cool. Even if their robot gets destroyed, they're just like, this is rad. I love this sport.
Do you name your electronics?
I tend not to.
Oh, I do. So this, even if they don't have a face, I name all my electronics.
Gotcha. I've never been like a name your car kind of person. The exception being my newest computer. I've never named a computer before, but this one is so fancy that I gave it a name. It's Peridot.
Well, so they have names because, like, they're like, what do you want it to be called when it connects to your Wi-Fi
Yeah, exactly.
network
And
or
that's
whatever.
that's why I named it Peridot, because I can remember that for no problem.
So my Roomba's name is Jeff.
Aw.
After one of the werewolves in the city between.
Good.
All my electronics are named after dudes in my comics.
Good. Good. That's how to do it. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been really closely attached to my electronics. Maybe it's just because they're very, like, I just kind of use them for stuff. But like, I'll name plants. I name my plants. Oh, that's very good. Gopher Source's home or phone hotspot is Wi-Fi art thou Romeo.
Oh, good.
That's very good.
Badger is telling me that his Roomba is named Rumberto,
Oh,
and
good.
that he put big googly eyes on it.
Oh, good.
So.
See, I do like that. I would decorate my Roomba if I had one. I also would very much try to encourage my birds to ride on it, but they would definitely be terrified of it.
My Roomba keeps getting stuck in my bathroom.
Aw.
Because it, like, hits the bathroom door enough to open the bathroom door, but then because the bathroom door only swings one way, when it hits it from the other direction, it closes the door, and then it's trapped in the bathroom.
Your Roomba, how good is it at like just keeping things swept up?
Pretty good.
Okay.
I hate vacuuming, so
Yeah.
It's doing its job. It says that, like, it can really only handle like 500 square feet. Like, that's how big its sort of bag, or for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
is. Like,
Yeah.
so it kind of like chunks around for like an hour.
Oh, Gopher Meg would be double terrified.
I usually turn it on while I run errands.
Cool, and just let it run.
Yeah, and just I put a box in front of my bathroom door so it doesn't
get in there. Cool. I was vaguely thinking of getting one for my sister because her disability doesn't allow her to, like, she can't be around dust. So I was like, okay, what if you had a Roomba though, and you could like set it and then leave the house for a couple hours, and then when you came back, your floors would be okay. Because it also means that she has to vacuum like way more often than anyone would normally because she can't have dust around the house. And I was just like, okay, cool. Well, they're expensive enough that I couldn't just buy it on my own. But like if my mom and I put in, we could get her a Roomba, and then she could just like set it to like go at 1 every day and then go out for a walk at that time.
Emptying it might be difficult for her, but
she can get her husband to do that.
Okay.
She just like
So yeah,
literally can't be around when it is stirring up dust.
I would recommend it. I like
Cool.
mine. It you have to like take everything off the floor.
Yeah,
And like
that'd be the other hard part because
it
she's got a 3-year-old almost and a another one in a couple months. So
yeah,
keeping
the
things off the floor is
guide
tough.
gave like recommendations based on your house.
Hmm.
I think it was like run it every day if you have a pet or children.
Yeah.
Um, and for someone like me who has neither of those things, they're like once a week is fine.
Okay. Cool.
Uh, so yeah, running it every day or because of her dust thing, maybe like twice a day.
Hmm.
Um, might be a good idea. But yeah, so they're kind of like they can only handle 500 square feet.
That's not
Um
too bad though, because like she would only need it in a couple areas, and you can like just set it for what areas of your house you need, right? Like you'd be like, don't go past here.
I have the cheapest one and it's not that
Hmm.
smart.
Gotcha.
So um
We
I
would probably
just
also be getting her the cheapest one.
you could close the door and
Okay.
it can't
And if
open the
there's like a
door.
baby gate,
So
it won't go down the stairs.
yeah.
Cool.
Uh
Yeah. No,
but
that was what I was thinking for a new birthday present for her.
um you have to clean the wheels because that's the thing. This hair keeps getting stuck in
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh God,
Um,
I've seen terrible, terrible photos of people who are like, "Oops, my dog crapped on the floor and my Roomba got into it, and now it's just everywhere. This is awful. This is the worst."
yeah,
Ugh.
the Roomba is not a smart thing.
No, no. But it is a cute little robot that lives in
There's
your house, and that's pretty
yeah,
great. Yeah, Meg would be terrified of a Roomba. She does not like things that move that she can't see their eyes. Maybe she'd be okay with it if I put googly eyes on it. But like anything that moves is just instantly suspicious to her. To the point where I was just like sitting on the couch one day and she lost her shit and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized my phone screen was in the sunbeam and there was a reflection on the wall that wasn't there a second before, and she could not handle that.
poor bird.
Yep. Hard to be a fear based creature. I'm going to be done this one shortly. Kel, where is your list of character dudes? I want to draw one of them.
Do you like to draw beardy dudes or lanky tall dudes?
I mean, either or. I do like a beard. I can draw a beard.
All right, I will send you
Send me your
a picture
wolfiest
of
guy.
Jeff.
Good. Good, I want to draw Jeff.
The Jeff the werewolf.
Jeff the werewolf.
Which now I'm just thinking of what we do in Shadows, where the guy's her lover's reincarnated, and she finds out his name is Jeff, and she's like, Jeff, like,
Jeff. That was very good.
ugh.
Yes, I'll make it. Oh, Jeff. Oh, Jeff. Come to your window, Jeff. I love you.
But she just hates that name, so she goes back to Gregor.
Yes. Jeff. In my very first vampire LARP I ever played in, well, not the first one, because that was just a one shot. That was London during the Blitz. But the very first like chronicle I played in, there was a vampire named Trevor, and his character concept was very fun. He was a vampire life insurance salesman, so he would sell like
Okay.
life or unlife and haven insurance on their like secret hidey holes to the vampires. So that he's like, yeah, yeah, if your haven gets burnt down with you inside it, your all of your progeny will get this much money, blah 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 blah. But only if these sorts of provisos and provisions and stuff, because like obviously I gotta cover my own costs, and vampires live for a very long time. And he would always wear the tackiest suit because this was a LARP, so he was like a guy dressed up at the game. He would always wear the tackiest suit and then have red Tic Tacs that he would constantly be fiddling with the packet for. And he was like, if you taste them, they're blood flavored. They're actually just like little blood pellets that he snacks on all the time. And he was such a delightfully tacky character concept that Trevor just became instantly funny to me. Trevor the vampire.
Have you read The Utterly Uninteresting Adventures of Fred the Vampire Accountant?
No, but I love it. I love that just as a concept.
Basically, the plot is that it's a lame accountant guy who
Good.
um, is turned into a vampire and decides to continue to be an accountant.
Oh, very good.
And then he finds out that the government knows about supernatural shit.
Mm.
And there's all these like unique tax laws for supernatural creatures. So he's found his accounting niche
Oh, good.
because he they don't have to explain why they're trying to write a cage off as a business
Nope.
expense
Or
or
that's
like
just
a
a thing.
health care expense. Anyway, I have linked
Useful if you're a
you.
werewolf too. Just I gotta get myself a
Yeah.
cage.
Well, like that's the thing is he's now the accountant for all the supernatural
Oh,
creatures.
that's a very good concept, and I love it.
Um. Anyway, I have sent you a picture of Jeff up in a tree
Thank you.
with his love interest, who's a veterinarian.
Oh, good. Oh, I am reading
Um.
some new vampire fiction. Uh, Come on, brain. What is it called? It's a really cool book that is set in Mexico City, and I believe it's called Certain Dark Things. Giving it a quick
Yes, I've
Google.
read that one.
Certain
It's
Dark
really good.
Things is really good.
Yeah.
The main character
Her.
is based off of like a Aztec vampire, and I love it.
Yeah, and the Western vampires are killing them.
Yes, yeah, and like
Because
colonizing.
imperialism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Western vampires are
Um.
colonizers, and I'm just like, oh God, this is the
Uh.
vampire fiction I needed in my life. I love it. Please give me more of
The
this.
what else is good is the same author wrote I think it's called The Beautiful Ones, and it's
Mm,
not vampires, but it's basically like Pride
that's
and
fun.
Prejudice, but what if people had psychic powers?
Oh, good. I love it.
Um,
Yes,
because
please.
it's like that sort of like English like polite society stuff that Pride and Prejudice runs on,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but like people are acknowledged to have psychic powers in this world.
Good.
And so like the main guy um was spurned by this wealthy lady who is
Not spurned.
now who is now married, and her like cousin, he's now like courting her cousin, to sort of like as a way to like reveal that they slept together before she was married to like ruin her reputation, but he
Ah,
needs to like get in her social circle
right.
first.
For it to, yeah.
um and so he like can move objects with his mind, and the person that he is pretending to be interested in also has that power, and she like wants someone to teach her, but people are like, oh, but proper ladies don't use their psychic powers or whatever. Like
Good.
some bullshit like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, so that's really good, especially if you want like Pride and Prejudice, but with supernatural shit involved.
I always do.
Um,
Like, please, please give that
um,
to me.
yeah. So that I've liked everything by that author, Sylvia something
Yeah,
Monroe.
yeah, yeah. I need to look up more of her stuff then,
Yeah.
because I'm really impressed with this book. It's so good. I'm more than halfway through. I couldn't put it down last night. I stayed up too late reading it. I got another go. I'm probably gonna. That's what I'm doing after the stream. It's real
Yeah.
good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Give me
So
more
I
indigenous
really
vampire
dug
stories,
that,
please.
and right after I read her vampire book, I haven't read her newest one, which is something I know Gold's in the title, but I
Mm.
just haven't picked up the audiobook yet.
I had to do a bag of chips, and on the label I
Mhm.
have hidden the word is potato.
Um, Someone
Because
laughed
is
because I
potato.
was Dead Deception is about a murder that happened in a convenience store.
Oh, good.
And so on the shelf, all the junk food was like references to ancient memes.
Oh, excellent. Like all your
I think
base.
only like two people got
Badger.
them.
Badger,
Well,
badger.
no, it was potato chips.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, that's
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah. So it was chips.
Good.
I think like
We,
two people commented that they got the reference.
uh, I went on a writing retreat with a couple artists or author friends of ours, and I don't know how
Mhm.
the conversation came around to like 1998. Oh, there was a bottle of wine someone brought that was from 1998, and we cracked it open to celebrate. Um, and then we had to go and like Wayback Machine the internet to 1998, and we looked at a bunch of GeoCities pages, and we went and pulled up like all your base and Badger
The
Badger
Space
Mushroom.
Jam website is preserved.
Oh, and still glorious. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good night. That was very fun.
Uh, but yeah, I love coming up with dumb things to put in store shelves.
Hmm. I don't like
Uh,
drawing the store shelves, but I sure like putting dumb things on the shelves.
I like doing it. It just takes too long.
Yeah, that's why I don't like doing it.
Uh
It's fun, but it
um
is very time consuming.
yeah.
For Where Geek, I ended up drawing 3 different library shelves, and then whenever they were at the gaming store, it was just those library shelves over and over again with different colors.
Hmm.
I was like, fuck, I'm not
Um
drawing this much stuff this often. Get some lighting on that face. We also started looking at weird VTubers on that trip because we had like
mhm.
we're just hanging out and we're like, what are some like there's all the anime girl VTubers, there's like cat boys and all that stuff. But like there's
Mhm.
a fridge. There's somebody whose VTuber is a fridge, which I love.
Yeah.
There was what was another really good weird one? There was one that was like a sentient malware ad.
Jesus.
It was just bonkers, and they stayed in character the entire time as this like bit of malware. Um, oh, there was some fun ones where I was just like, okay, okay, not super into the anime girl, but do love. Oh, there was one that was a bowl of fruit. It just I'm a bowl of fruit, and I will talk to you. I don't know how long that would be funny for, but it's sure funny the first time you see it.
Amanda knows how to make like VTuber
Yeah, she made herself
nihilist.
that cool possum,
Yeah.
which I love. She is a force of nature. I like that she makes puppets.
Yeah. Amanda makes cool shit.
Mm-hmm. I loved her Halloween costume last year, where she's like, "I want to be a creepy cat demon and give children candy." I was like, I approve of this entirely. I love all of this concept.
I'm not a costume person. Part of me
Mm,
wishes I was.
I am
Uh,
such a costume person. That's one of the reasons I LARP, so I can dress up in costumes on the reg.
I yeah, I'm the person who does not want to be in costume.
I mean,
I
costumes
got
are
slightly frustrated.
terribly uncomfortable
Well, it's
and
also like
expensive.
they take a lot of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of time and money and effort that I
Mm-hmm.
don't have. And I have a friend here in Portland, and I've been increasingly frustrated with every time they had a party, it was a
A
costume
costume
party.
party. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want to hang out with you and I want to have a good time with you, but I don't want to have to come up with a costume every time we hang
Yes.
out.
Or be
Like,
uncomfortable at your house for like 3 hours.
yeah.
There's a thing in town here called the Parade of Lost Souls that happens every year before Halloween.
Mm.
And it's maybe my favorite thing in the world because it is a section of Commercial Ave that they just like street festival. So that's shut down for traffic and you can just come and hang out. You don't have to wear costumes, but you can if you want to. And so there's always like a crowd of like half of the Parade of Lost Souls is just like folks who've come out to enjoy this Halloween experience. And then there's people like me who are fully in costume and often fully in character as whatever weird monster creature they're dressed as, and we run around and just Halloween to the max, and like howl and dance around with each other and have like little devil dances. It's delightful. I love it so much. It hasn't happened the past 2 years because of COVID, and I miss it deeply.
Yeah. I like drawing Connor being a smarmy asshole. It's fun
Good.
to draw. The characters I'm drawing now are currently debating um, the morality of different ways to deal with supernatural creatures that are causing a problem.
Ooh.
Uh, because that is the whole theme of Murky Water
Mm.
is um, the antagonist is a lady who assisted her husband's suicide because he did not want to be a werewolf.
Right.
Um, and she killed him with magic water, so there is no way to like prove that she helped.
Gotcha. Yeah.
She basically has waterbender powers.
Cool. She
And so
waterbended him, assisted
yeah, he
suicide.
drowned
Yeah.
in his apartment, which is not near any water source.
Gotcha.
Um,
I think that's them Dragon
and
Boys done.
so,
They look pretty good, I think. Happy with them.
uh, and so, she is staying in town because her and her husband were werewolf hunters, and they're like, well, there's a werewolf that's a murderer that we're after.
Mm.
Um, and cop main character Maria is all like, that's vigilantism and that's wrong.
Right. Right.
But also letting a murderer go free is wrong. But also like so it's a like there isn't a way to solve this.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
um and she is talking to Connor who has more experience with this and bringing up the vampire of the last case that they worked, which Connor shot in the head, um, which does not kill a vampire.
Right.
Um, and he's like, I took care of it, so she's not gonna we're not gonna hear about her again.
Mm.
Um, And she assumes that he killed said vampire. And he's like, no, I took them to a vampire to teach them to control their powers. So
Oh,
we're not
good.
going to hear about them because if they decide to kill people, they probably will now know how to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we also don't know if she's going to continue to kill people.
Right.
So that's why I did not kill her. You cannot uh,
Just
do
murder
that.
her. Yeah.
Yeah. And then main character is like, oh, but that means that like she's free to go around killing people all over again. And he's like, yeah, but she hasn't done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So we can't
uh,
prejudge her on what she may or
yeah,
may not do.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and then she's like, okay, well then you know about this werewolf hunter who's going to like hunt down and kill other supernatural creatures in the city, and you're not doing anything about that. And um, he's like, I warned people to like lie low while she's in town.
Gotcha. We'll just see what she
Um,
ends up doing. What if?
and then she's like, well, you're not worried that she's gonna attack you since everyone knows that you're a werewolf. And he's like, I'm famous and on TV, and she doesn't want people to know what she's up to, so I'm
I
too
mean,
famous to get murdered by the werewolf hunter.
cool.
Um,
Good. I'm too
uh,
famous to be murdered.
yeah, basically. And she's like, oh, so you have the privilege to do nothing. And
Yeah,
he's like,
basically. Yep. It's good.
uh,
I don't have to burden my conscience
so,
with this.
well, he did, tell other people, like, hey,
Yeah.
lay low.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Just so you know, this is going on.
he did what he could without taking a violent action.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man. So I've been writing what was meant as a short story and is slowly becoming a novella. That's cyberpunk-ish. Not the cyberpunk fic I've also been writing, but a different project. Where one of the main character's rules are they are a trickster and they have to follow the way of the trickster, which means
mhm.
not solving problems with violence. They're not allowed to take the easy way out and do the violent route. Which, when you're writing cyberpunk and there's like a corporation and guards after you, is very tough to write some of them scenes where you're like, okay, well they're coming after them with like machine guns. How are they going to get out of this?
Yeah.
But it's a challenge, and I am enjoying the challenge because it's so
It's
often just like, well, they grab a gun and then they shoot at the other person and they run away. Like that's how you write that action
one of
scene.
the things one of the rules I have for writing city between stories is it's never the end of the world.
Nice.
Um because I feel like too many supernatural stuff like get into a problem escalation like
Yeah, yeah, and it's
power
always the
creep.
end of the world. Yeah,
And yeah, and then it's always the end of the world. And then also like if it's the end of the world, then that justifies like a lot of shady immoral actions.
yeah. Especially if it's to solve the end of the world. You're like, well,
Yeah,
we could
like
throw our morality out the
it's just
window.
yeah, it gets very ends justify the means.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Because anything's better than the world ending. So yeah, okay.
yeah, and also uh there's a YouTube I watch, Overly Sarcastic Productions, who
Nice.
they do little short videos that explain different tropes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a thing that they pointed out about it's the end of the world stories, um, is especially if it's a series, the main characters are gonna win. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Because there's gonna be another
where
book.
yeah, like whereas if the thing is like save this one person's life, they could theoretically fail and still like live to
Yeah,
have the next book.
yeah.
Um um but so yeah, so it gets more like complicated if it's just how do we deal with this murderer who
Mm-hmm.
we cannot publicly charge with anything,
Yeah.
because because the murder weapon is magic water.
I like that. I know in
Um,
our D&D game that we play, Trash Heroes, one of my favorite plots thus far has been the we need to go and get owlbear milk because the idea is like D&D is a game where it's very easy just to kill all the monsters all the time and you're encouraged to do so. You get
mhm,
XP for it. Uh, this was like, no, we need fresh owlbear. We need fresh milk. Um, but we need to not like kill these endangered owlbears. So it was like, how do you subdue an animal? You can't reason with it because that's our other thing that we do
mhm.
a lot is we like reason with bad guys because we have a lot of socially inclined characters. It's like, well, we can't reason with it. It's an animal, but you don't want to just fight it and kill it either. How are you going to deal with this problem? That was fun. That was a fun plot. I like making characters do things that
Yep.
they wouldn't normally for reasons.
I'm I'm also having fun with Maria not doing well with this gray morality.
Yeah.
It's the buddy cop duo of the cop that's by the book, but if there is no book, what
What do
do
you
they do?
do? Yeah.
Uh, and also all cops are bad.
It's a theme. It's happening. It's also real.
Um,
This guy's got a big, fluffy collar, which I love. I like a fluffy collar on a werewolf.
Jeff is fun to write because he's got a lot of himbo energy.
Oh, good. Here he's in a pensive pose. I went to the random pose generator, which I like to do sometimes when I'm just like, I don't have an idea in mind for a pose. Just give me something. And I got this really cool, like pensive, staring at the camera pose.
Good.
Looks like he's got tall boots. Let's change that. Some tall boot action.
I really like drawing characters in winter gear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, eventually time will have to pass and it can't be winter anymore.
But also,
And I'll be so sad.
it's fun to
Uh,
draw coats,
yeah.
especially if they're werewolves and you can put cool fluffy stuff on them. Oh man, not to simp for Disney, but I'm gonna simp for Disney for a bit. Have you seen Turning Red?
Hmm.
Oh, it's so
I have
good.
not seen Turning Red.
Okay.
Basically, so like the trailers for Turning Red
Yeah.
made me not super interested in it.
Mm.
And then the
All the controversy.
you know, yeah, people talking about it
Yeah.
have been like made me be like, oh, maybe I should see it, because the thing
Yeah.
is I don't really like Pixar movies in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
So
This is
um
the least Pixar movie that Pixar has made so far, I think.
yeah.
It's it's not going in for the feels in the same way. If you were a
Hmm.
femme person in the late 90s, early 2000s,
Yeah,
though, oh my
yeah,
God,
no,
it's going for the heart of your
it's giving
nostalgia.
me
It's about
it's
you.
giving me it's giving me hardcore Tina Belcher vibes
Oh, it's real good. It's
for
real good.
it.
There is a plot line around a Tamagotchi. It's
Yeah.
it goes
Uh
straight for those feels. It's very good. Like not for like, oh no, drama feels, but like you remember being this age. It's that time period. And you're like, oh God, it is. Oh yeah. Oh shit.
uh yeah.
Also, it's
So it's
the least Pixar in terms of style as well, because the art style they chose for it is so cool.
Yeah, so it's basically like everything that everyone's saying about it online has made me be like, oh, maybe I should check this out.
Yeah. It's worth a
But
watch. From an animation or actually, just from a I'm Canadian standpoint, holy crap, it's a real Canadian movie. There's a lot of Canadianisms in there, including, I don't know how many people caught it, but there was a point where there's a sign in front of their school that says that it's Indigenous Peoples Day, which tells me exactly what time of year it was, even if the cherry blossoms wasn't a pretty damn good uh, descriptor. But Indigenous Peoples Day is always on the spring equinox, so you know what time of
wow,
year
I
it
did not
is.
know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Because the U.S. doesn't have that.
yeah,
Or like now there's the we'll turn Christopher Columbus into
yeah,
Indigenous
yeah.
Peoples Day,
And I couldn't
and
tell you when
that's a
Christopher
big
Columbus
move.
Day is, but like I'm glad that it's not
Uh,
a thing anymore.
it's like in October, I think.
Mm,
It's one of those things. I'm very bad at remembering um bank holidays because I'm a freelancer.
yeah, same.
So they always bite me in the ass. Like I'm planning to go to the post office and
And you're
like,
like, oh god
oops,
damn it, it's closed.
it's closed.
Yeah,
And yeah, so
yeah, same. Or like
um
Lane will mention and is like, yep, I don't work on Monday, and I'm like, what? Oh right, there's a
yeah.
holiday. I don't get those. Although I will take them now. I did too many years doing a comic where I did not take holidays, and then I got burned out. And don't do that to yourselves, children. It's bad. Please
Yeah.
do manage to give yourself some time off. I can't draw a man in a beard without making him look a little bit like Lane.
His face is a square, if that helps.
Yeah. Oh no, I've gotten
That's
that.
what I always
I
do.
like his
Yeah,
square face that I've then just added
he
hair
is
onto.
yeah. Um like and that's also kind of how I shape his beard is most of the time I just draw a square and his beard helps shape that.
He's very Lane-like. He's got the hair. He's got the
Except
squared beard.
he's buffer. I
Yeah.
did the
Yeah.
story starts with him being naked in a kennel.
Oh, good. Oh,
Um,
good.
it starts with
I'm gonna give this boy
uh
some big shoulders.
good. That's appropriate. So basically the story starts with he as a wolf he is tranquilized and brought in to the like wildlife veterinary place,
Ah, gotcha.
and
Because like
then
we got this weird wolf here. It's sick.
the lady in the tree with him um comes into work the next day and there's a naked dude in the kennel.
Mm-hmm. I was like, whoa, what the hell?
Well, since the world knows about werewolves she is surprised,
Right, but
but
not like, oh god,
like, oh yeah, so
somebody brought in a
she
werewolf,
um
sir.
and whenever I go back to these two, I'm planning to always have like the conflict to be like, so she's very science minded,
Mm,
and frequently in her pursuit of science about werewolves, she occasionally does not treat Jeff like a person,
right, yeah.
um, and crosses the line, because she's excited. So when
What
they
about
first
the
meet,
science of him? The science of
yeah,
Jeff.
when they first I have the when I'll show you the page where she finds him because I had fun with the lettering because she's asking a bunch of questions where the answers are not important.
Mm,
Um, so you don't get answers, and what's important is that she is asking the questions. Um, so it's like speech bubbles on top of each other.
oh, good, yeah.
Uh,
And is that doing the censor job on
and
his on him being naked in the cage?
No, the he is covering his junk
Okay.
because he's being polite.
I do like
Because it's
a an amusing censor word balloon. Those are fun.
so. Yeah, so I just sent you the page. Like she has the key to open it, and he's trying to take it from her, but she's too busy asking questions. So
And he's like, I am naked in a cage. Can I not be, please?
yeah, and then he breaks the cage. And because he could have gotten out of the cage at any time, he just didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
was
yeah. But she won't let
once
him out.
again being polite. Yeah.
Oh,
Um.
he even says, I was trying not to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, so she asks like, how many vertebrae do you have? Like, do they fuse together when they turn into a wolf, or do you always have the same amount of
Is it
vertebrae? Like,
involuntary?
um, um,
Good.
is the changing voluntary and involuntary action? And when you turn to a human, you have the extra vertebrae than a wolf. So do the
Yeah.
vertebrae fuse together somehow? Is your metabolism more canine or human? And like,
Yeah. How can you metabolize chocolate, for example? Does coffee kill
well,
you?
she then says, or does being changing shape, does it make you something completely different? And how
Mm.
does the full moon affect you? Like, is it a gravitational thing? Like, so she's just spouting out questions.
Good.
Um,
And he's like, I am in a cage. This is I
yeah,
I would like to not be,
uh,
please.
yeah.
Good. I like it.
Uh, he
Ah,
can eat
those are good
chocolate.
questions.
To answer your question,
He can't.
he can,
Okay, good.
because werewolves have hypermetabolism that makes them
Ah,
immune to most poisons. So why would
nice.
chocolate be a problem?
Yeah.
Uh,
I love how many things there are that are deadly poison to most animals that we just eat because we're like, we have a big enough body mass that we can eat this. If
yeah,
we were lighter, it would kill us, but we're not, so we're fine. Like avocados.
yeah.
Do not feed your bird avocados. They're deadly poison, and a lot of people think that they can. So if you have parrots, no avocado. Super poisonous. Uh, One of the things that they always warn me about at the vets, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I feed my birds nothing that I don't Google if it's safe first, because I'm that paranoid about them, and I love them.
That's good.
Yeah,
Good birds.
they're good.
Um,
Oh,
I
hey,
wish I drew
Gopher,
faster
I will
so I
probably
could.
be. Oh, what's that?
Oh, I was gonna say, I wish I drew faster so I could get through city between storylines faster.
Mm, I was gonna say, Gopher, I'll probably post some work in progress stuff on that story on my Patreon once it's a little more cleaned up. I'm still in the like just word salad phase where I'm just like, right, put as many words down as you can and then come back and clean it up. But I'm liking where it's going so far. It's really fun to write. I am really enjoying writing cyberpunk of every kind, if you couldn't tell.
I'm having fun with my future werewolves.
Good. Future Marxist werewolves. I love them. There's a werewolf man sitting looking at the
Please
camera.
send it to me.
I'm going to. I'm gonna fix this fold on his shirt first and then color in his fluffy ruff.
Oh, other things that veterinarian asks Jeff is Jeff is a nurse.
Mm.
So she asks him if he can sense when seizures happen, like some
Like a
dogs can.
dog.
And the answer is no.
I had a friend who had a seizure dog. He was super smart. Part of the problem with
You
him was
know,
that he was so smart that you had to keep she had to keep coming up with new
yeah,
exercises for him because he really wanted to learn all the time. But she couldn't do exercises that would ruin the training that he already had. So she was
yeah.
just training him on a variety of items. Okay, well this one is a ball, that one's a duck, frog. So he just wanted to learn more words, and then he would go and get that thing.
I actually don't know how dogs manage to sense seizures.
I couldn't tell you. I think there's something to do with the chemicals in your sweat change or something. They can literally smell that you are seizing,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that is
Huh.
100% the case.
Because I looked up how they train dogs to smell drugs because part of
Yeah.
the joke of Connor being a cop is that he is a drug sniffing dog.
Oh, good.
Um, and then I looked up how they train dogs
Mhm.
to sniff drugs, and it's like, oh, Connor wouldn't even need that training; he could just learn it on his own.
Yeah.
Because what they do is, um, they fill the dog's favorite toy with cocaine.
Mhm. Mhm.
So when they're sniffing out cocaine, like they're just looking for their favorite toy.
Basically, and they're
Because
like, "Oh boy, I found it! I
I
found it!"
heard
And then you give them their
I
favorite
heard a
toy, and they're like, "I'm
rumor.
good at this."
Yeah, I heard a rumor that they like get the dogs addicted to coke, and I was like, that sounds horrible and
That's
not true.
bad. Yeah.
And I was glad to learn that it wasn't true. Like cops are bad, but they're maybe not that bad.
Mhm.
Um, so
Maybe not
just
addict
tricking
your
them into
dog to cocaine. Bad.
yeah. So
No, they
yeah,
just really enjoy doing their work.
yeah, because they want their favorite toy. So
Yeah, they're like, I'm very good at this, and I've got my toy, and then I get lots of praise, and then we play. It did the thing. I'm a good boy.
um,
Okay, I drew your man.
send them over.
Almost send him. I gotta save him first so I don't lose him. Jiff. Almost send him to you. The canvas is really big. Just ignore that.
Violet in my chat has said wolves can beware or be square in
Oh,
reaction to
good.
me saying Jeff has a square head.
Oh,
Badger has
good.
the answer that dogs can smell the difference in the blood sugar
Oh,
levels.
interesting.
Thank you,
I
Badger, for
do
this
like
informative
dog and wolf
doggo
facts.
knowledge. Yeah. Um, my werewolves are colorblind though. They can only see blue and yellow like a
Mm.
dog. But
I
I
went to
have it
school
that
with a
like
guy who was fully
oh wow,
colorblind. Like he could only see in monochrome.
yeah.
And that was a problem because we
Um,
were in improv together, and the stage markers were all too
oh
closely color. Like it was like red on a gray stage, and the
their
contrast was so much that he
values were
couldn't
too
see.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had to remark everything with white because he's like, I'm gonna fall off this damn stage.
Um, so I have it that as the werewolves learn to control their powers, they get more colorblind. So they slowly,
Oh, interesting. The color
uh,
bleeds out
yeah,
of their life.
as they get control over wolfdom, so they're more. It's to show they're more connected to wolfdom.
Mm.
Uh, so I've had in almost every story with Connor and Maria investigating. He has to ask what color something is for Maria.
Oh, good. Just to keep it fresh in the readers' minds. Gonna be weird to do VanCaf again. They said if you'd booked previously and you don't want to come out to this one, they're not going to penalize anybody. So like it's not like, oh no, if I come out, I won't get a table next time, because they know it's pretty last minute. I will probably do it just because I'm here and it's very easy to get to for me. But like crossing the border always makes everything tougher.
I might reapply next year, but yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it this year.
Yeah, it's a little short notice. I'll go. I'll check it out, see how it is. I think it'll be smaller
Emerald
as
City
well.
wasn't bad. Yeah.
Yeah, Emerald City was pretty good. Despite it being a quarter as many people as there normally are, I did pretty good at that show.
Yeah, everyone was there doing their Christmas shopping.
Yeah, yeah. And it felt weirdly normal to be back doing a convention again. It was like, oh, okay, I remember how to do this, yeah. Although Sam and I were both saying when we were at the furry show that like we've gotten a lot slower at drawing commissions in person because we're so out of practice with it. Like Sam and I used to be able to draw a pet portrait in like no time.
That's why I don't really like doing commissions at shows. Is I can't think about selling stuff and
draw at the same time.
Commission.
Yeah, it's why I, for the bigger shows, have started bringing table help with me, because I like if Lane will come and like handle the sales while I draw commissions.
How do you get stuff to San Diego Comic-Con?
Hoo boy, I haven't done it in many years. But when we were going to do it in 2020, the plan was to ship it to a friend who lives like an hour away, and then Sam was going to drive down early to spend some time with him because they were like, I think they're in Anaheim or something, and they were going to like go and do Disneyland and do all that stuff. So he was going to be down there the week before, and then they would rent a U-Haul, load up all the boxes that everyone had shipped down to them, and then drive it to the con.
I can also send boxes to this Sam's friend in Anaheim,
yeah,
I would appreciate that.
I will ask him about that because like it's a hell of a show to do. Also, it is like 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after Emerald City, and then 2 weeks.
I'm committed to doing it. I just don't know how I'm getting anything there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's really close to all the cons, and it's going to wear me out. I think I'm going to have to like basically take that entire month off and just do cons. I'd be like, I can't do any of my freelance work that month. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Did you send over the picture on Discord?
Yeah, it should be on Discord.
I'm not seeing it.
Huh. Why does it not go? Oh, I didn't hit enter.
There we go.
There.
That explains it.
It was loading.
Good.
There's Jeff, looking pensive in a randomly generated pose.
Good.
I was going to post it for the stream, but I realized that you've all watched me draw it, so you're well aware of what it looks like.
Yeah. So, the thing is, like, I've had fun doing with City Between is like designing what the fashion looks like.
Mm.
I'm trying to make everything asymmetrical.
Oh, nice.
But
That's
also
fun.
like, so Jeff's shoulder thingies
Yep.
on his jacket, that's a hood. So it's like the hoods are way bigger,
Oh, cool.
and they just so they look like if he was to like pull it up, it would be like a big hood rather than like the way we
Yeah.
usually have hoods.
Cool. I hear snoring out on the couch. I think Lane fell asleep.
I think I need to look up reference for the next thing I have to draw, and that's going to take a long time. So rather than jump into that, I'm cool with calling the stream early,
Yeah,
like
me too.
15 minutes.
I'm
Yeah.
basically done drawing. I'm just kind of noodling around on that commission I was working on
Yeah.
earlier. But I'm fine calling early too.
All right.
That was
Thanks
fun.
everyone for watching.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see y'all.
Next
Have a good
week,
night.
I also am busy on Tuesday. We have one more meeting.
Oh, okay.
Do we want to try and keep it
I'm
on a Thursday or just take a week
I
off?
am
Or
recording a podcast, so we can take a week off
okay,
as
sounds good.
well.
So we will not see you all next week, but we'll see you after
Yeah,
that, and
see
we'll
you
let you
the
know what
week
night.
after. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Probably Tuesday, unless it's gonna keep you're gonna
Yeah.
keep having your meeting
No,
on
this is the
Tuesday.
last one. Yeah.
Okay.
This was we
Well,
couldn't
thanks
all make the
everyone.
meeting before, and then we had to reschedule.
Yeah. Pop.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone. Y'all
Thanks
have
for joining
a
us.
yeah. Thanks for hanging out and listen to us talk about werewolves and kids books and
Hell yeah.
yeah. Bye.
Bye.